Hello, and welcome back to the English Learning Podcast. I'm Emma.
And I'm Michael. We're so excited you're here with us today because we're diving into a really important topic: how you can improve your English fluency from the comfort of your home just by making a few tweaks to your daily routines.
That's right, Michael. Learning a language doesn't have to be something that takes hours of study each day. In fact, you can incorporate English practice into your everyday life in ways that feel natural, fun, and effective. And today, we're going to show you how.
Exactly. We've got tips and strategies that are perfect for everyone, from beginners to advanced learners. So whether you're brushing your teeth, making breakfast, or heading out for a walk, there are so many ways to practice English that fit into your existing routine.
Plus, stay tuned until the end, because we'll also share how to overcome common challenges you might face when learning alone and how to stay motivated. Trust us, you won't want to miss it.
So grab a cup of coffee, get comfortable, and let's dive into how you can supercharge your English learning right at home.
Segment 1. Morning Routine. Let's start with one of the most important parts of the day, your morning routine. Whether you're a morning person or not, the time you spend getting ready can be a perfect opportunity to practice your English.
Absolutely. One easy way to get started is by listening to English first thing in the morning. Whether it's a podcast, an audiobook, or the morning news in English, it's a great way to immerse yourself in the language. For example, if you're preparing breakfast, you could have a podcast playing in the background.
Right? And don't just listen passively. Try to repeat what you hear or even answer questions from the podcast. It helps with pronunciation and getting comfortable with everyday conversations. Even simple sentences like, "I'm making my coffee now," or "I'm heading out for a morning walk," can make a difference.
Speaking of simple sentences, one thing I love to do is narrate my morning tasks. Just talk through what you're doing out loud. It might feel silly at first, but it's a fantastic way to practice. For example, "I'm brushing my teeth," "I'm making breakfast," or "I'm packing my bag." It's such a practical way to build vocabulary and improve fluency.
And don't forget to introduce new vocabulary as you go. For instance, instead of saying, "I'm making breakfast," you could say, "I'm frying some eggs and brewing a cup of coffee." The more specific you get with your descriptions, the more vocabulary you're adding to your routine.
Exactly. It's all about building habits. You'll be amazed at how much more confident you'll feel over time just by practicing these little things every day.
Segment 2. Work/study routine. Now, let's move on to your work or study routine. Whether you're working from home, going to school, or studying independently, there are plenty of opportunities to practice English during the day.
One of the easiest ways to incorporate English is by listening to something while you work. You could have English music playing in the background, or if you're someone who likes to multitask, podcasts and audiobooks can be great companions during work.
Another thing you can do is switch up your writing. For example, try writing your to-do list in English. You could even write notes or journal your thoughts in English during a work break. It helps reinforce new vocabulary and keeps you in the habit of thinking in English.
Yeah, and if you have to send emails or messages during your workday, try writing them in English too, if it's appropriate, of course. Even if you don't have anyone to practice with directly, this is a great way to stay consistent in your writing.
And speaking of writing, don't forget about reading too. Maybe during lunch or a coffee break, you could read an article or a blog post in English. It doesn't have to be long, just something that keeps you exposed to the language.
If you have virtual meetings or video calls, you could practice your speaking skills by making an effort to converse in English, even if it's just for small talk. Every bit helps.
Exactly. The goal is to stay engaged with the language throughout the day. Even small moments of practice can make a big difference in the long run. Segment 3. Mealtime Routine.
Now, let's talk about meal times. Eating is something we all do every day, so why not use that time to practice English too?
One easy way to do this is to watch videos or listen to podcasts while you cook or eat. There are so many cooking shows and recipe tutorials available in English that you could follow along with.
Another idea is to practice speaking aloud while cooking. You could describe the ingredients you're using or the steps of the recipe. For example, I'm chopping the vegetables, or now I'm adding a pinch of salt. Describing what you're doing helps you practice everyday vocabulary.
You could even turn mealtime into a conversation exercise. If you're eating with friends or family, try speaking in English. If you're alone, pretend you're having a conversation with someone, or even imagine you're explaining your meal to a friend in English.
And don't forget about learning food-related vocabulary. You could make a list of new words you encounter during cooking and eating, like boil, saute, or season. You'd be surprised how much vocabulary you can pick up just by talking about food.
Segment 4. Exercise Workout Routine. Let's move on to exercise. Whether you're going for a run, doing yoga, or lifting weights, your workout routine can also be a time to practice English.
One of the best ways to do this is by following workout videos or listening to fitness podcasts in English. Not only will you be getting fit, but you'll also be improving your listening comprehension and learning new words related to exercise.
That's right. You can also narrate your workout as you go. For example, now I'm doing squats, or next I'll stretch my arms. Describing your workout routine helps reinforce action verbs and body part vocabulary.
And if you're someone who enjoys running or walking, try listening to an English podcast or audiobook during your workout. It's a great way to multitask and keep improving your language skills while staying active.
You can even practice speaking by describing how you feel during the workout. I'm feeling strong. This is challenging. Or, I'm almost done with this set. It's a great way to practice self-talk in English. Segment 5. Relaxation Leisure Routine.
Now, let's talk about relaxation time. After a long day, it's important to unwind, but you can still find ways to incorporate English into your leisure activities.
One of the easiest ways to do this is by reading in English. It doesn't have to be a novel. Blogs, articles, or even social media posts can work too. The key is to expose yourself to different types of writing in English.
You could also watch TV shows or movies in English. If you're not ready to watch without subtitles, that's okay. Just start by using English subtitles so you can follow along and learn new words at the same time.
And if you enjoy listening to music, why not listen to English songs? Pay attention to the lyrics and try to understand the meaning of the song. It's a fun way to improve your vocabulary and pronunciation.
Another great way to practice is by imitating your favorite characters from TV shows or movies. Try to mimic their tone, accent, and body language. It's a playful way to improve your speaking skills and understand different cultural nuances.
And don't forget to relax. English learning can be part of your downtime, but it should also be enjoyable. The more fun you have with it, the more motivated you'll be to keep practicing. Segment 6. Evening Bedtime Routine.
As the day comes to an end, your evening routine can also be a great time to sneak in some English practice.
One way to do this is by journaling in English before bed. Write about your day, your thoughts, or anything you've learned. It's a great way to practice your writing and reflect on your progress.
You could also listen to relaxing podcasts or guided meditations in English to wind down. Not only will this help you practice your listening skills, but it's also a peaceful way to end the day.
You can even practice writing short to-do lists or setting goals for the next day in English. These small writing exercises are a simple but effective way to practice the language daily.
And remember, even just a few minutes of practice each night can add up over time. The more consistent you are, the better your progress will be.
Segment 7. Overcoming challenges. Now, let's talk about some of the challenges you might face when learning English at home, especially if you're studying alone.
One of the biggest challenges is staying motivated. It can be hard to stick with a routine when you don't have a teacher or classmates to keep you accountable, but don't worry. We've got some tips to help you stay on track.
First, set small, achievable goals for yourself. Instead of saying, "I want to be fluent in English," break it down into smaller steps, like, "I want to learn 10 new words this week," or "I want to practice speaking for 10 minutes each day." Achieving these small goals will give you a sense of accomplishment and keep you motivated.
Another challenge is feeling isolated. Studying alone can be lonely at times, but there are ways to overcome this. You can join online language communities, find a language exchange partner, or participate in forums where you can connect with other English learners.
Finally, don't be too hard on yourself. Progress takes time, and it's okay to make mistakes along the way. The important thing is to keep practicing and stay consistent. Even on the days when you feel stuck, remember that every bit of practice counts. Conclusion.
Well, that's all for today's episode. We hope these tips have given you some new ideas on how to incorporate English into your daily routine.
Remember, learning a language doesn't have to be stressful or time-consuming. By making English practice a part of your everyday life, you'll be improving your fluency naturally and effectively.
And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this episode with your friends. Your support helps us create more content to help you on your English learning journey.
Absolutely. We're here to help you succeed, and we're excited to continue this journey with you. Keep practicing, stay consistent, and most importantly, have fun with it.
Thanks for listening, and we'll see you in the next episode.